Hi, it's Sarah. Today we're going to talk about the effects of Mercury going retrograde in Scorpio for our Scorpion friends. How is this going to play out over the next month and a half? This is the last retrograde for 2019, and it occurs in Scorpio. The 3 Mercury retrogrades for 2019 have all predominantly occurred in water signs. We had Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So water translates into emotion or having an effect on our emotions, so that's a big clue on how this will be affecting us, right? Mercury is the planet of communication, movement, commerce. It's about traveling, it's about making connections, it's about communications, it's about taking things and moving from point A to point B, whether that is projects, whether that is work, relationships, whatever it may be. Or even just trains going from point A to point B, airlines flying the same repeated path, those kinds of things. Orderly, structured movement. Mercury generally moves us forward in an orderly fashion until it goes retrograde. Things that we take for granted, like being able to send a letter or a text or an email and it get to the right place. Or maybe booking kind of tight connections when you're traveling. Things that you normally wouldn't worry about because there's plenty of time to catch that other plane. Suddenly there's nothing but delays. Because Mercury is involved in almost all these day-to-day activities, when it retrogrades, typically it can be quite noticeable, yeah? We find that things we take for granted, like being able to call someone or to send an email, suddenly just don't work. So usually Scorpio ends up frustrated because tech is not operating properly and their stuff is not flowing like it should. So dear Scorpion, you may notice that you have less patience because appointments are being canceled, trains are running late, those kind of things are happening. And then the other thing that really seems to bother you and get under your skin is that people start flaking out on you. They are making lunch dates and not showing up or changing things at the last minute, and you don't have the patience for it. So those are the biggest problems you generally have, that and probably losing your phone maybe, or dropping something like your favorite mug and breaking it. But other than that, no, it's not horrible. It's not fun, but it's not horrible. But this particular Mercury retrograde is going to be flavored very differently for you. So I'll put the dates up. We're in the pre-shadow right now, and we're going to be moving into full Mercury retrograde on the last day of October. You probably want to add these to your calendar. Yeah, it's going to be a different cycle, and it's going to affect you very differently. Things that are the most central to your life are likely to change during this period. And this isn't necessarily bad though, because we're talking about making room for all the good that's going to come to you in 2020. Probably you know what this is because you've had to make some adjustments during the last couple of months anyway. Really felt less in control of your life or your work situation because of these changes. And it's something that's necessary for your soul's growth, but this is tough for fixed signs. And the fixed signs, of course, are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. We like stability. We are persistent. We like to have things fall into place and work. And we like consistency. So when these things go out the window, we're kind of in chaos, we're frustrated, and we don't really understand the dynamics of the situation. How do you make things work when all of a sudden the rules don't apply? So that can be rather frustrating in the cycle. But we have to step back and not take it personally, because these major planetary shifts are affecting everyone. And they're affecting all of us differently though. So it's really interesting. If you have family or close coworkers and you know their sign, you might want to watch the other videos and see how it's going to affect them. And I'll put a link up and below too. You probably will be okay during this. It's just some really basic stuff about who you are may come up. And this new energy is ready to assist you if you want to dig deeper and you want to go into maybe the dynamics of your relationships, or not. I mean, Mercury retrograde is a great time to, of course, clean out your closets and finish up any projects that you've begun earlier in the year. So that's the more physical aspect of it. The more emotional and mental side is really getting clear on who you are and making any changes, maybe dropping some habits, maybe adding some habits that will get you closer to that ideal of where you want to be. But it's also a good time to go deeper inside, revise maybe some of your goals, and that's okay. Scorpio is generally pretty goal driven, so you may be feeling kind of off balance and like you're not hitting your goals properly, but in reality it's just maybe they're changing and they no longer apply to who you're becoming. So this is a great time to look at those and edit them and make any needed course correction. Not everything has gone according to plan, and this is a perfect time to reevaluate your goals and decide what is really important to you. It's time to do some course correction and maybe look at those goals and see if they're still important to you. It's also a great time to clean your circle of friends. You've been doing a lot of work on yourself and you've been changing a lot, and so you may no longer mesh with this group of people, and that's okay. You can still be amicable when you part ways, but if you're going in one direction and they're going another, you don't really have much in common. And while this can be, kind of sad, it's still okay, because know that you're going to meet new people that are more in line with where you're headed. So definitely take full advantage of this energy. Take the time to really work on you, do some self-care, decide what's important to you, and decide what direction you want to move into. Also, it's a great time, as I said, to clean out the closets, donate stuff to charity, and do things to be of service. For further clarity and to see what other messages the universe has for you, let's draw a tarot card. And today, we're going to go old school and use the Rider-Waite deck. Okay. Okay, another inverted card. If you watched any of these other readings for Mercury retrograde per sign, you'll see that almost all of them feature an inverted card, which is more or less to be expected. All right, let's look at this card. When it's right side up, I usually tell folks this means anything can happen. This is a good time to go buy a lottery ticket, but you probably need to wear a helmet while you're going. It's kind of like that. It doesn't necessarily mean it's great opportunity. It just means anything is possible. Anything in the world could happen, good, bad, or indifferent. When it is inverted, though, that you're finding clarity and getting back to reality after a period of indulging or being confused or being overwhelmed, which, hey, that goes right back with the astrology, right? You will be moving into a time when you finally have the clarity to know what you want, and then also the decisiveness to act upon it and to move forward. This card usually means upside down that you've been in chaos or you've been in a time of indecision, maybe because you didn't feel like you had any options, they weren't open to you, or you were just, like I say, in so much chaos you couldn't see them. So it's about getting clear, not only in the direction, but also in what you want. And you can suddenly see the correct path that you need to travel, even though before you kind of felt lost. It's also about pulling yourself out of wishful thinking or fantasizing and making constructive decisions moving forward in this reality. This is going right along, like I say, with the astrology, with this is a great time for you to really dig deep and decide what direction you want to go into next year. And why is next year so important? Because it begins a 12-year cycle. Yeah, you can look at the Year of the Rat. I'll put a link here and below and begin there. Find your sign if you don't already know and watch the video for your particular sign. Then that'll give you an even better idea of which direction to go and probably what some of the choices that are going to be presented to you are. So overall, yes, there's probably going to be some small inconveniences. There's going to be some lost things, some broken things, and some miscommunication for you during this cycle. But overall, the big news is you're going to take this energy, turn it inward, and come up with a better understanding of who you are and who you want to be and plan for the upcoming decade. So isn't that amazing? It's going to be a great Mercury retrograde for you, especially if you take full advantage of this gift, okay? I hope you found this helpful. If you would like a private reading or to know more, you can always contact me at Serenity. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell so you can be notified of the next video. Reiki blessings! Bye-bye!